LinkedIn, enjoyable and manageable all on one page. It's probably not something you put together, but I'm gonna try. I'm gonna try and make LinkedIn a little bit more manageable for us as busy freelancers, and dare I say it, enjoyable. Marmite, as I said, it was the first slide. LinkedIn is one of those channels, isn't it? Like, I think Instagram, people say they love it. You say something, oh, Instagram, they go, oh yeah, I love it. Say Facebook, they're like, no, I hate it. LinkedIn, it's like, some people absolutely love it, some people hate it. So quick show of hands around the room, if you will. Who is a lover? Oh, most. Okay, and hater. Okay, well, that's good. It does then. Not joking. No, that's good. And it's interesting, actually. It's interesting. It's interesting that you're more of a creative, should we say, and the photography side. Never. No, that's fair. That's fair. As a freelancer, the majority of us, whether LinkedIn will always be on our to-do list, it seems to be. If you've got more than enough work on, it will be at the bottom of your list. And if you're panicking and you need more work, it'll be right at the top of your list. But it'll always be somewhere on that list. So what words come to mind when I say LinkedIn? Now, I ask people this question, most workshops I do, most talks I do, and the words tend to be the same, but I'd be interested. What word comes to mind when you say LinkedIn, when I say LinkedIn to you?
Corporate.
Corporate, fine, yeah.
Chat.
Chat, yeah. Just shout out any words, anybody? Networking, yeah. Yeah, nice. Yeah, I haven't got on there. So this is what I tend to get. Corporate was the first one, and that was the first one I wrote down. Suit and tie, salesy, briefcase, professional, boring. That tends to be what I hear, and I totally get it. But for me, LinkedIn is, and it's probably largely due to aligned with a Cowork Crew sort of mentality, is that it's all about friends, all about community, and all about opportunity. LinkedIn is more than just a social media network. And I think that's really, really important to say. It's a 24/7 networking event. And most importantly, the best bit, and LinkedIn luxuries, and I'd say a few of these, is you can go in and out as you please. And as freelancers, that's so important to us, right? Because we can fit it in around our other commitments. And as freelancers, probably freedom is one of our biggest drivers. I know it is for me, and I assume some of it's for you as well. So you can fit LinkedIn and business networking around your other commitments in work and in life. Another good bit about LinkedIn, another luxury, LinkedIn compared to other platforms, it's a bit of a bold statement, but everyone, I believe, is open to discussing opportunities, whether that's giving someone an opportunity or receiving an opportunity. But the biggest mistake people make, and it's one of the icky things about LinkedIn, is salespeople, like people trying to sell. It's not about selling. Everyone is open to discussing opportunities, but you've got to go about it the right way. Essentially, LinkedIn is about becoming known, liked, and trusted, much like networking is. If we want to simplify that, it's about making friends, and that's where that word comes. It's just about making friends, I believe. So when someone needs you or your service, your profession, they'll think of you as their friend, or their business friend, shall we say. But we go onto LinkedIn, we try and sell, and we just forget how to be normal, social human beings. I find it so interesting, and that's all I try and do. Everything you do on LinkedIn, although it may seem icky and uncomfortable, it is just a normal human social behavior if you mirror how you do it in person. So think of LinkedIn more like an in-person and networking event. And I'm not saying it's any more comfortable in person, because some of us are nervous. We've shared that today. But if you were to get involved in group conversations in person, all that is on LinkedIn is chatting in comment sections. That's the equivalent. It's exactly the same. If you're introducing yourself to new people in person, that's just connecting with relevant people on LinkedIn. If you're having a coffee chat with someone, so a very casual chat over a coffee in here maybe, that's just chatting to somebody in a direct message on LinkedIn. And then if you're lucky, fortunate enough to have an audience like I have today speaking to you guys, that's LinkedIn posting. That's the equivalent. And you need to do this stuff as a business owner, but you don't value LinkedIn on the same level as business networking. I always give myself a massive pat on the back when I go to an in-person event, because it's such a, I know I need to do it as a business owner and I value it so highly, but then when I'm on LinkedIn, I don't think, oh, well done, Ryan, you've connected with 2 people today. But you really should, because that is business development and you're growing your business through LinkedIn, a social media platform. There's so much more than a social media platform. So there's a doing part coming next, but I did just want to chat quickly about things we like about LinkedIn, things we don't necessarily like, just to talk openly about it, if you don't mind. So does anybody want to say a good experience they've had on LinkedIn for starters?
I wouldn't be here today if it wasn't for LinkedIn, because through various connections of connections,
Yeah.
I found out about Cowork Crew.
So that's incredible, right? Like, so powerful. And you did that in the palm of your hand, which is amazing. Anybody else want to share any? Well, obviously, we've connected, haven't we, John? We know each other. Yeah, so we haven't had a chance to chat today, but I saw you walking. I was like, oh, that's John. And it's like when Joe walked in, I saw Joe walking. We've never met, but I've seen Joe through LinkedIn, and many faces in here. I think that's so powerful, but I think we sort of overlook it sometimes. So, going to do some actions now. What we can take forward today, what we can do, and hopefully, as I say, make it feel a bit less like LinkedIn and a bit more manageable, natural, enjoyable. They're the things I've done as a business owner and still do since January 2023. So I worked in-house at a law firm, was a social media manager, and I was made redundant in October of that year. But because I'd been posting on LinkedIn since the January, I was able to leave the job, set up my own business, and I had enough opportunities to pay the bills and keep the lights on basically at home. So this is what I do and what I advise people to do. Now, the first thing, I'm really annoyed myself. I didn't bring my Post-it notes. I had Post-it notes for everybody. So frustrated. But there you are. That's life. So when you go home with Post-it notes, there's 3 Post-it notes, and that creates your simple strategy for LinkedIn. A simple plan, should we say? I don't like the word strategy. Just a plan, just some direction and some purpose for you. On your first Post-it note, just write what you're trying to achieve. And that doesn't have to be new business. That really doesn't. It could be a new event to go to. Find a new event to go to. Connect with the founder of that event and have a chat with them. That's success. That could be that Post-it note. So if it is new business, think more specifically, I'd like to get a retained business on this service that I offer before December or something like that. But be more wider than just new business, right? Opportunity is the one we want to focus on. And then who do you need to speak to on the second Post-it note? You could think location, you could think industry, you could think job title, things like that, but just know who you're trying to speak to. You're not really trying to speak to the whole of LinkedIn. I think something like 45% of the UK adult population is on LinkedIn. You don't need to speak to them all. You just need to speak to the ones who will help you achieve what you're actually trying to achieve. So yeah, close that net in and understand who you need to speak to. And then thirdly, how do you want them to think of you? Now, we obviously create perceptions on social media. I like to try and be as sort of raw as possible, but we do shape ourselves to be thought of in a certain way so that we're thought of when somebody needs us. So on the third Post-it note, I'd like you to sort of craft how you want to be thought about. This is mine as an example. A good guy who knows his onions on social media, LinkedIn, wants your business to be a success, because that's what I'm here for, is to make you successful, and the type of person you want to work with and also have a pint with. That's what I try and present that is me. That's not me putting on a facade or anything like that. That is genuinely me, and that's what I try and do through LinkedIn. So they're the 3 Post-it notes, and that can create a simple plan for your LinkedIn presence. And once you've done that, stick those 3 Post-it notes anywhere in your office where you can see them every day. Every like, every scroll, every comment, every connection should be aimed at showing you how you want to be perceived, speaking to the people you need to speak to, and helping you achieve what you're there to achieve. The actions within that, there's 4 of them, and they're not all essential. You could just connect with people and chat with somebody in DMs and have success, achieve what you need to achieve. You don't necessarily need to post. But these are the actions, the 4 actions that will help you achieve what you're trying to achieve. And the first one is posting. There's no right way to post, essentially. For me, as long as it's your stories, your opinions, your expertise, your thoughts, your experiences, it's you, that's a valid post. It's up to you how you go about it. Now, you can strategize how you come up with those ideas, however it works for you. I opt for three pots essentially, because it helps people to. I feel it helps people to get to know me, trust me, and then work with me. You don't have to do it this way. This is just the way I do it. Do whatever works for you. But the first one is get to know me. Like, I want people to get to know me because you're working with me. I'm not a big agency, just a solo freelancer, and you will work directly with me. So it's important that people get to know me. And to make that easy, I'll just pick 3 things that you want people to know about you. So this example here could be family, exercise, mental health, things like that. Things that you really care about, things that are important to you, and let people get to know you through that. And what you'll find is, this happens to me numerous times, I've had people say it to me before, is you'll go to an event like this, or you'll go to a client meeting, and they are the first things people will talk to you about. They won't talk to you about social media. They won't talk to you about anything else. They'll talk to you about, oh, how's your dog? How's your family? Oh, so you went on a run last week. They're the things we want to speak about, right? And they're the things we speak about to our friends, so why wouldn't we speak about them in the workplace? Only share things that you're comfortable talking to clients about, that's what I'd say. But pick 3 things and go from there. The second one is about developing trust in you. Like, why should somebody trust you and work with you? So for this, the simplest way I find it is, and I do this actually through our online LinkedIn Cowork Crew sessions. The start of the session, Penny asks everyone on there, what's your biggest challenge on LinkedIn? And that literally fuels my LinkedIn content. So what I believe the best way to go about it is to write for your sort of target audience, should we say, is find out their biggest problems, challenges, speak to them, ask them what their challenges are, and literally help solve them challenges through your content. And that really does make posting, targeted posting, should we say, quite easy. And then work with you. Now, this is the salesy element of LinkedIn is obviously the icky part, should we say, the most uncomfortable part. But essentially, you need to tell people what you do. Joe, we've got a great example from this week. I did not know Joe designed on Canva. Meanwhile, I was sat at home when I saw the post that you listed, what was it, 8 things you love to do. One of them was like go on Canva and design on Canva and work with, people like me to help them with Canva. I was sat at home pulling my hair out, trying to design a deck for a workshop, and I was just like, nah, I'm just going to ask Joe to do it for me. But I didn't know she did that until she posted about it. So post about what you do. There are creative ways you can do that. Tell stories, how Joe did it. Say things you love to do. Here are 8 things I love to do. Or you could say, Mel Barfield always does a good one. She always says 3 things I like to do, or 3 things I do, 3 things I don't do. I like that one as well. So creative ways to tell people what you do, how you do it, and how good you are at it, essentially, without saying, buy this now. And as I said, the perfect post does not exist. Do not spend hours, days, months, weeks writing a post over and over again. If you get it to a spot where it's about 50% you're happy with, I can assure you it's perfect, it's brilliant, and it's ready for LinkedIn. So don't feel like every post needs to be a novel. It doesn't need to be perfect. In fact, if it's got mistakes, spelling errors, we know it's not been written by AI. So I've heard that before, and I'm on board with it. It's human and it's you. I've got a little present for you. It's a content planner. So I've used this content planner. I hope the QR code works because I've only just launched this today. I've used this content planner since January 23 on Notion, and I've finally this week built it for everyone else to use. So if you scan that QR code, that'll take you hopefully straight to my webpage where you can add your email and download a content planner to make your life easier when it comes to posting on LinkedIn. So you can plan all your posts out, write your post copy, add an image, then when the date comes, copy paste it onto LinkedIn, hit complete on there, and what it also has is a box that says reuse. Click the reuse button if it's a post that you think you can reuse again in 6 weeks' time, a month's time, whatever it may be, and that will go into a pot that's reusable. So it makes your life a lot easier when it comes to posting, so you can stay organised, stay on top, stay consistent. Action 2, so we've got the post in. We need to grow our networks, right? We need to grow, we need to become more known to more people. Luxury number 3 is you don't have to wait for people to come to you. On an Instagram or another channel, you need to wait for people to follow you. On LinkedIn, you can actually connect with somebody, and that becomes a mutual follow. They'll follow you, you follow them. That's really, really powerful. So there's nothing holding you back from going to connect with that person you really, really want to get to know and speak to. And the LinkedIn search function, it's going to be mentioned twice, and this is the first one. The LinkedIn search function is so underused, but it's so powerful. It's just the little box at the top of LinkedIn, top left on desktop, straight above on that phone, and it's your new best friend. And we're going to find people who would be that on that post-it note too, who you should connect with. Now, I did a search just for screenshot purposes of second degree, so filter only by people, second degree connection, so that's people I have a mutual connection with, in the Northampton area, because that's where I'm based. Industry I chose was professional services, and then title I put in was director. Feel free if you want to take a photo of that. That's the search I put in. It's fairly straightforward, 5-6 clicks of a button, and it gave me 81 pages, 10 people per page of directors in the professional service industry in Northampton. If I wanted to work in the professional service industry and they were the decision makers, LinkedIn searches found me them people within like 30 seconds, which is really, really powerful. And all I'd suggest doing is scrolling through there, anyone catches your eye, and don't forget the post-it note to who you're trying to speak to, connect with them, send them a connection request, because you can do that on LinkedIn. This is just an example, a very loose example, but if you sent 50 connection requests and 25 accepted your request, then you message those people, and I'll talk about messaging in a little bit, but you message 25 of those people, let's say half, just under half replied, so 12 replied. That's 12 conversations with directors in the Northampton area in professional services. Now, if you went to an in-person event and had 12 conversations and got 12 new directors or 25 new directors in your network, and you spoke to 12 of them, you'd be thrilled. Yet if you did that on LinkedIn, you're probably like, that was all right. But no, that's incredible. That's amazing. So yeah, that's the power. And you did it all from the palm of your hand, in between the work, the life, everything else that you're juggling. Action 3, so we've got the posting, we've got the growing, and there's the socializing bit. And this is really important on LinkedIn, because it's not all about posting. You need to be socializing. But I don't have the time to engage, as I said, with the whole of LinkedIn. So we're going to use the search function again. Your best is back, because you can actually create your own bespoke feed on LinkedIn away from the main feed. So if you just wanted to speak to, so I just wanted to create a feed of you guys because I wanted to engage with you guys following up today, I can absolutely do that. You can use LinkedIn search function for focus socializing. So simply go to the search box again, click enter, do a blank search, go to the right hand side where it says all filters, and we'll sort this time by posts, latest posts in the past month. And Joe actually included you on this. I didn't even know he was going to be here, but you're on there. 6 of my favourite freelancers, or self-employed people, or people that are in this sphere, should we say. And Penny, Joe, Mel's on there, Dave's on there, a few others. And click show results, and bang, you've got a feed of just those people. That's worked out really well. You've got a feed of just those people. Yeah, no other people are in that feed, just them people. So I can just engage with the people that really, really matter to me. You can bookmark that results page, so you revisit it. And if you add any more people to it, you just need to re-bookmark it again. And there's a limit of 28 people. So if you've got 28 people on that list, create a new list and do another 28 people elsewhere. So you're focused, socializing. And these are the lists I create. So freelancer friends, I've got a list for them. Clients, current potential, got a list for them. Peers, leading voices, and then just people I genuinely enjoy to see on LinkedIn, because you can't forget that you've got to enjoy it. Like if you're seeing people that you don't really want to see or don't like, it's not gonna help with going back to LinkedIn. So yeah, people you enjoy as well, don't discount them. They're the lists I create. Feel free to create your own. I can send you a link to a video of me showing you how to do that, create that list. I can put it in the Cambridge Slack, so you can go and do that in your own time. And finally, action 4, direct messaging. I'm not going to call it direct messaging, because direct messaging gives people the creeps, like, oh no, someone's going to message me. I get it. So we're just going to call it friendly one-to-one chats, because that's what it is. That's what it is. If it was in person, we're going to probably have a one-to-one chat today, and it's just going to be the same thing. A DM does not have to start or end with a sale. Breaking news. You do not have to sell in the first line or the last line. It's just to get to know people a bit better. It's social media after all, right? And I'm just going to give an example. 2 examples, actually. One is Lance. So Lance is a web designer who connected with me about a month ago. And I literally just messaged him saying, hi, Lance, thanks for connecting. How are you? And he just said, yeah, we had a chat. And he saw that he'd worked with somebody I was working with, and he saw that I hosted a LinkedIn session. So I just promoted it to him and said, if you want to come along, feel free. And he came to the LinkedIn session last week. And I'll just have a new friend, you know, a freelance friend. That's great. There's no agenda there either. I literally was just trying to have a chat with him. No agenda for a sale, just getting to know somebody a bit better. This is one I use quite a lot. So it's Paul. Paul messaged me, as you can see, in 2023. So I didn't know I was being made redundant at this point. But Paul actually viewed my profile but never connected with me. He just looked at my profile. And at the time, I was looking at people who review my profile. And I saw Paul was a director of a local company near me. So I connected with him and I messaged him just saying hello. You know, hadn't heard of his business before despite being local. And he just said something on my profile caught his eye and that we should catch up soon. I didn't actually message him back until I was made redundant. And then I just messaged him back saying, hi Paul, do you fancy that chat? You know, I'm at a loose end. I've been working with Paul for the last 2 years. Seen him this week. We get along really well. His family are fantastic, really lovely business. And they've been a massive part of supporting me in my business over the last 2 years. And there's people I, you know, hold in really high regard. And it all came from a DM on LinkedIn and a connection request because he actually didn't send the connection request to me. So connect, send them DMs and get to know people. Who should you DM? Again, you don't have to DM everyone. As a starter, why not just DM new connections who connect with you? Just say, hello, how are you? Thanks for connecting. People who view your profile, as I did with Paul, and then people who engage with your posts. I often will see people, it's on my list for today actually, see people who've engaged with my post frequently, and I do message them to say thank you, because if they didn't do that, then you know I wouldn't be able to grow and create opportunities for myself. So I'm very, very keen to message people who engage with my content just to say thanks, appreciate the support, and you know, if there's anything I can help you with, do let me know. So yeah, as a starter, try direct messaging those people and then grow from there. And as I say, it doesn't have to start and end with a sale. It can just be a hello, everyday conversation like you would have in person at Cowork Crew. So bringing all of that together wouldn't be fun without a little challenge, would it? So a little manageable, that's really important, a manageable challenge. Now, you don't have to post, you know, hundreds of times, but if you do this for the rest of, do this every week for the rest of the year. So, you know, minimal stuff. Like publish 1 post a week for the rest of the year. Start 2 new direct message conversations with some potential people of interest. Send 3 new connection requests and have 4 conversations in comment sections. If you're starting from very little to no activity on LinkedIn, I think it's healthy to set these sorts of like quotas for yourself, just because it gets you in the rhythm, it gets you, like nothing's going to change if you're not doing anything. So at least give yourself a target to aim for. And I actually set this challenge on LinkedIn about 6 weeks ago, and I had about 25 people reply to me saying, Ryan, please hold me to account on that. So I've got this little mailing list. I message these people and say, are you doing it this week? And that's for free. Like, I'm not charging them for that. It's just you just to stay accountable. And if you do that every week, you'll end the year with, so starting next week, 21 published posts, which is amazing, 20 posts, 42 new one-to-one conversations. Obviously, this is at best. If they reply, you can have a conversation. 63 new connections if they accept, and then 84 conversations in comment sections. You have 84 new conversations with people. And I think that's really powerful, and it's all through the palm of your hand. So if you do want a challenge to take away from this, is to try this activity every week until the end of the year, and you could end up with this. And that ultimately could create a new opportunity. And for me, if it doesn't create even the tiniest bit of value for your business, I will eat my laptop, because I guarantee you, even if it's just one freelance friend, like that is value for your business or you as a person. So if you do that every week for the rest of the year and you don't get the tiniest bit of value, drop me a message on the 31st December and that laptop is my New Year's dinner. I didn't actually introduce myself at the start, but this is me. I'm a social media manager and consultant. I exist to make other people and their businesses successful on social media. Now, this line actually, as Penny and Joe said, I was the 2nd ever presenter at Cowork Crew in Northampton, and it was my first speaking gig as a freelancer, and I didn't really have clarity on what my business was. I was like, I'm a social media manager. I've managed social media channels for 10 or 11 years it was at the time, in-house, but I didn't really know what my business was. It wasn't a social media manager really, and it was that, and that first talk was what gave me the clarity. I'd been ignoring freelancers, not ignoring, but discounting freelancers who had been asking me for advice. And I was like, no, like my business isn't social media management. My business is to make you guys and other people successful on social media. So, and I do all these things in various different guises, but I just want to thank Penny and Joe for giving me that first shot, because without that shot, I wouldn't have had that clarity. And I think this is what Cowork Crew does. You're saying about lifter uppers is all of us, and it is, but it comes from you two. So props to you. Thank you very, very much. Oh, honestly, like the lifting up starts with you. You guys gave me my first shot, and that's really given me clarity on where I'm going as a business. So I appreciate it. And thank you, everyone. That is the talk.